Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session, Problem Solving Methods in Teaching and Learning. In today's session, we will explore how problem solving goes beyond just finding answers. It's about developing critical thinking, creativity, decision-making skills in both teachers and students. So we will discuss the practical methods like Polya's four-step model, the ideal framework, and the five whys technique, along with the classroom strategies and activities that make learning more engaging and meaningful. So by end of this webinar, you will have already to use ideas to help your learners think independently, collaborate effectively, and apply knowledge to real life solutions. Let's begin our journey towards making classrooms problem solvers hub. So objective of this session is by the end of the sessions, teachers will be able to understand the concept and importance of problem solving in education, explore different problem solving methods and models, apply strategies to develop students' problem solving skills, and reflect on classroom practices that promotes creative solutions. Now let's understand what is problem solving. Problem solving is the process of identifying a challenge, generating possible solution, and choosing the best course of action. So in simple terms, we can say it's about facing a situation where something is not working or needs a solution, thinking of different ways to fix it, and then acting on the most suitable solution. So, problem solving in education, in schools, problem solving helps students to think critically rather than just memorize the facts. They will be able to make decision makes on reasoning, apply knowledge to real life situations, as well as collaborate with peers to find solutions. Now let's understand the importance of problem solving in education. Now problem solving is the key skill for both teachers and students. It goes beyond finding answers. It helps in thinking, creating, deciding, and collaborating. Number one is it promotes critical and analytic thinking. Now, what it matters and why it matters? Students learn to evaluate situations, analyze information, and make reasoned decisions. For example, in science experiment, the students analyze why a reaction happened and predict outcomes for the different conditions. So teacher can guide them to ask why and what if. So questions encouraging deep thinking. Number two, deepens or develops creativity and innovation. Now, why it matters here? Students explore multiple ways to solve a problem and think outside the box. So, for example, here in an art or project activity, students create a model using limited material. So, they innovate new design, helping them to create creatively and while solving the practical challenges. Number three, it builds confidence and perseverance. Now, why it matters here again? Facing challenges and finding solutions step by step teaches resilience. For example, in maths puzzle or a coding task, student may fail initially but try again until they succeed. This boosts confidence and teaches that persistence lead to success. Number four, enhances decision making skills. Now, here it matters a lot. Students learn to weigh options, predict consequences, and make informed choices. For example, during a classroom debate, students evaluate arguments and decide which solution or opinion is the strongest. So, teacher can facilitate decision and guide them to justify their choices. Number five, it encourages collaboration and communication. Now, here it matters a lot because many real world problems require teamwork. For example, in group project or a problem based learning, students share ideas, discuss approaches, and reach the consequences. This improves communication skills and teaches them to work effectively with others. So to summarize this slide, I would say here in short, problem solving strengthens thinking and reasoning skills. It fosters creativity and confidence. It improves decision making and collaboration as well as communication. It prepares the student for real life challenges. Now let's understand what exactly the Polya's four-step method for problem solving. Now here, Polya's method provides a structured approach to solve the problem effectively. Teachers can use it to guide students in thinking systematically. Number one step is understand the problem. Now here it means read the problem carefully. Identify what is given and what needs to be found. So ask questions to clarify the doubts. For example, in maths class, a train leaves the station at 9 a.m., traveling at the speed of 60 km per hour. So another train leaves at 10 a.m., traveling with a speed of 80 km per hour. So when will the second train catch up? So activity is there. Ask student to underline the important information and restate the problem in their own words. Number two step is devise a plan or a make a plan. Now here it means think of the strategies to solve the problem. Choose the most suitable approach. Consider similar problems already solved. For example, in science, how can we make a simple circuit to light up a bulb? So student list up the materials, draw a plan of connections before the building. This encourages logical thinking and planning. Number three step, carry out the plan. Now here it means to implement the chosen strategies step by step. Check each step to ensure accuracy. For example, solve the train problem using the distance equals to speed multiplied by time. That formula step by step. Now here activity is students calculate and show each step verifying result as they go. Number four step is to review or reflect. Now here it means check if the solution makes the sense. Reflect on the method used. Considered alternative approaches for the future problem. For example, here, language or a storytelling session. After writing a story ending, students review whether the solution resolved the conflict logically. Or in science or maths class, ask them, can this method solve similar problem? Could it be done differently? Let's understand the another model, which is ideal model for problem solving. Now here the ideal model is structured approach that helps students to tackle problems systematically, encouraging thinking, planning, action, and reflection. So here ideal word itself means I for identify the problem, D for define the goals, E for explore possible strategies, A for act on the strategies, L for look back and evaluate. So let's take one by one. Identify the problem. Now here it means to recognize the challenge or situation that needs a solution. For example, in science class, students notice the school plant is wilting. So activity here is ask the student to observe and list symptoms. Is it having a yellow leaves, dry soil to understand the problem clearly. Next one, define goals. D for define goals. Now here it means set clear objectives for what the solution should achieve. Like in maths class, in a budgeting project, the goal might be a plan or a school event within a fixed budget. So activity here is student will list goals such as stay under rupees 500, include food and decoration, ensure the fun activities should be included, etc. Number three is explore possible strategies. Now here it means to brainstorm multiple ways to solve the problem, consider pros and cons. Like for example, language or a storytelling, student must resolve the conflict in a story. So activity will be here, encourage them to list 3-4 possible endings and discuss which makes the story most interesting and logical. Number four, act on strategies. Now, here it means to implement the chosen solution step by step. Like in science experiment, students try watering the wilting plant in different ways: soil hydration, sunlight adjustment, fertilizer use. So, here the activity will be students document the steps and observe the result carefully. Number five step is look back and evaluate. Now, here it means to review the result and reflect on the process. Ask here, did it work? Could it be done better? For example, in maths project, after planning the school event, students compare the actual cost and the planned budget and evaluate what strategies worked best. Or similarly, in science class, observe which treatment helped the plant most and discuss why. Next one. Now, why methods of problem solving? Now, the five whys is a simple problem solving technique where you keep asking why to uncover the root cause of the problem rather than just addressing the symptoms. Why it matters here? It matters a lot because it helps students and teachers focus on a real issue, not just the obvious surface problem. Now, how it works? Number one is to identify the problem. So, start with your issue, what you noticed. Ask why. So, keep asking the why problem occurs usually 5 times to reach the root cause. So, address the root cause. Once identified, find a solution that prevents the problem from recurring. For example, we take the example of classroom behavior. So here the problem is students are not submitting homework on time. So 5 whys will be: number one, why are the students not submitting homework? They forget to do it. Number two, why? Why do they forget? They don't have a reminder system. Number three, why? Why don't they have reminders? They don't organize their planner. Number four, why? Why don't they organize their planner? They were not taught to how to manage the task. Number five, why? Why were not they taught? So time management and skills are not part of the classroom practice. So the root cause is student lack time management skills. And the solution will be teach students how to plan homework and use reminders. Let's understand types of problem solving. Now, problem solving can take many forms depending on the nature of the problem and the approach used. So, teachers can guide students to develop different problem solving skills through various activities. Number one, logical problem solving, which is step by step reasoning. Now, here it means solve the problem using systematic reasoning and clear steps. For example, in maths, solving a word problem, if a car travels 60 kilometers in 1 hour, how far will it travel in 3 hours? Now, student follow step-by-step calculation using the formulas. Here, the skill practice will be analytical thinking, sequencing, accuracy. Number two, creative problem solving, which is out of the box ideas. Now, here it means finding innovative and unconventional solutions. For example, in art and science project, students are asked to create a model of a sustainable house using recyclable materials. So students brainstorm unique designs and materials. Skill practice will be imagination, creativity, and innovation. Number three, collaborative problem solving, which is team-based approaches. Now here it means solving problem together, leveraging the strength of a team. For example, group project, planning a school event with the task like decoration, invitation, and refreshments. So students discuss and delegate the rules and reach the consequences of the solution. Here the skill practice will be communication, teamwork, and negotiation. Number 4 type, reflective problem solving. That means learn from the past experience. So here it means solving a problem by analytic past experiences to improve the future decisions. Like for example, if we take here science experiment. Now student compare the last year experiment result with the current one to improve the accuracy. So the classroom management will be here reflecting on a past group activity, challenges to plan better strategies. Now here the skill practice will be self-assessment, critical thinking, learning from mistakes. So let's understand some classroom strategies. Now, effective problem solving in the classroom requires a strategy that engages the students actively, develop critical thinking, and encourage reflection. So, number one is it encourages questioning and curiosity. So, it means here that let students ask questions freely and explore the ideas without fear. For example, in a science lesson on plants, ask students why do some plants grow taller than others? Encourage them to come up with hypotheses and discuss answers. Here the skill practice will be inquiry, curiosity, analytical thinking. Number 2, use real life examples and case studies. Now here it means connect lessons to real world problems for meaningful learning. For example, in maths, use a case study of planning a school trip to teach budgeting and percentage. Or for example, in social science class, analyze a community problem like water shortage or discuss the solution. Number 4, assign open-ended task and project. So give tasks that allow multiple solutions rather than one fixed answer. For example, in art and science project, design a model of a sustainable city. Student can use different materials and strategies, encouraging creativity. Here, the skill practice will be innovation, decision making, and creativity. Next, to promote group discussions and peer learning, which means encourage students to share ideas, debate, and learn from peers. Like for example, in history lesson, students discuss the causes of the historical event in groups and present their conclusions. So here the skill practice will be communication, teamwork, and negotiation. Next, number 5, conduct think aloud sessions. So conducting think aloud sessions means teachers model their thinking process while solving a problem. For example, in maths problem or in a maths class, solve a complex calculation while explaining your reasoning aloud. First, I will identify the known values, then I will calculate step by step, just like that. The student learn how to approach problems logically. Here the skill practice will be metacognition, problem solving, and reasoning strategies. Number 6, it encourages reflection journals. Now here it means student reflect on their learning process and problem solving experience. So after a project or experiment, ask student to write about what worked and what didn't and what they would do differently next time. So here the skill practice will be self-assessment, critical thinking, learning from mistake. Let's understand one sample classroom activity, think, pair, and share. Now, the purpose of this activity here is this activity helps teachers and students to explore problems individually and discuss in pairs and share with a larger group, promoting critical thinking, collaboration, and multiple perspectives. Now, the steps for the teachers here present a real world classroom issue. For example, many students are not participating actively in a group activity. So teacher think about the possible solution individually, think individually, pair discussion, teachers pair up and share their ideas, promotes collaboration and exchange of insight, and the share key insight within the group. Each pair shares main solution or a strategy with a larger group. So outcome and benefit will be, it encourages multiple perspectives. Teachers see the variety of approaches to the same problem. It develops the collaborative thinking and communication skills. It helps the participants reflect on their own practice while learning from peers. So it can be applied to both teacher training and classroom student activities. Next, let's understand barriers to effective problem solving. So even the best intentions or teachers and students may face challenges that limit effective problem solving in the classroom. So to recognizing these barriers, help educators find better ways to overcome them. Number one, lack of time or resources. Now, here it means teachers often have limited time to complete the syllabus or lack materials needed for hands on problem solving activities. For example, if a teacher wants students to build a science model but does not have enough class time or material, so as a result, the activity becomes rushed and students don't get to explore or experiment fully. So here is a tip to integrate short problem solving tasks into a regular lesson. So use low cost or recycled material to promote creativity within constraint. Number two, fear of making mistakes. Now here it means student may hesitate to participate if they hear or they have a fear of being wrong or judged. So example here, during a mass discussion, only a few student answers because others are afraid of giving incorrect solutions. This limits the participation and creative thinking. Number three, rigid curriculum structure. Now, here it means strict schedules and exam focused teaching leave little room for exploration or open ended learning. So, for example, here teacher must finish the syllabus quickly. So the lessons focus on memorization rather than discussion or inquiry. So student miss chances to develop critical thinking and problem solving skills. Number four, limited encouragement of creativity. Now here it means when classroom focus only on correct answers, students stop experimenting or thinking differently. For example, in English class, the students are told to write answers exactly as in the textbook rather than of expressing their own ideas. So creativity and independent thinking are lost. So the overall solution here, build a safe, supportive and open classroom culture. Celebrate curiosity and effort. Encourage students to ask questions and share ideas freely. Give constructive feedback rather than criticism. Make problem solving a shared journey, not a test. So let's understand the role of teachers in problem solving. Now, teachers play a crucial role in shaping how students think, question, explore, and reflect. Instead of giving answers, effective teachers guide students to find solution on their own through supportive and structured approaches. Number one, facilitate inquiry, that is based learning. It means here encourage students to ask questions, investigate, and discover answers through exploration rather than of just direct instructions. For example, in science lesson on a water pollution, the teacher asks, why do some rivers have cleaner water than others? So student research, observe the sample and discuss the findings. Teacher facilitates by guiding their inquiry, not by giving ready-made answers. So the outcome will be here, the students develop curiosity, critical thinking, as well as investigative thinking. Number two, guide students through structured reasoning. Now here it means help students to think logically step by step and understand how to approach a problem. For example, in maths class, when solving a word problem, the teacher models here, let's first understand what is given, what we need to find, and which formula might help. So students learn to analyze and organize their thoughts systematically. So outcome will be student gain clarity and confidence in the problem solving method. Number three, it encourages exploration and risk taking, which means here create a classroom where students feel safe to try new ideas even if they make mistakes. Example, in language class, the teacher asks students to write their own endings to the story. So different interpretation are welcome and discussed. So teacher emphasizes the creativity over perfection. Where will the outcome will be? It builds innovation, confidence, and open-mindedness. Number four, provide constructive feedback. Now, here it means give feedback that helps students to improve, reflect, rather than just judging their answers as right or wrong. For example, after a group project, teacher says, your teamwork was great. Next time, try to divide your roles more evenly so everyone contributes. Students reflect and refine their approach in future tasks. So outcome will be it encourages growth mindset, reflection, and continuous improvement. Here is one reflective question here. How often do I allow my students to struggle productively with a problem before giving them the answer? Which means here, this question invites teachers to reflect on their own teaching approach, whether they give students enough time or space to think, explore, and make mistakes, or if they have a step in too quickly to provide solutions. So, productive struggle is when students grapple with a challenge just enough to deepen understanding, not to the point of frustration, but long along or enough to learn how to think critically and independently. For example, in maths, a student is solving a tricky word problem. So instead of giving formula immediately, teacher asks guiding questions. What is the question asking you to find? Or what do we already know? The students takes time to reason through it and eventually figures out the method. And the outcome will be student learns problem solving, persistence, and logical reasoning. Let's understand problem solving builds resilience and lifelong learning skills. Now, problem solving in the classroom is not just about the finding right answers. It's about the helping students to develop perseverance, adaptability, and curiosity that serve them throughout the life. Number one, critical, creative, reflective thinking. Now, when it comes to critical thinking, when students face challenges and are encouraged to think critically and creatively, they learn to analyze the situation, explore multiple solutions, and reflect on the work best. For example, in science project, student must design a way to clean dirty water using simple materials. They experiment with the different filters, test results, and reflect on which method works the best. So outcome will be students develop critical thinking, that is analysis, creativity, which comes under design, and reflection, which goes for the evaluation. All essential lifelong skills are there. Next, teachers act as a facilitators, not just providers of answers. So here it means instead of giving direct answers, teacher guides students to discover solutions themselves through questioning, hints, and support. For example, in maths, when a student is stuck, the teachers ask, what do you know already? Or what's the another way to look at this the problem? The student works through it independently with gentle guidance. And the outcome will be student gain confidence, independence, resilience, knowing they can figure the things out on their own. Next, every classroom problem is an opportunity for growth, which means challenges, whether academic or behavior, are the chances to build problem solving methods, patience, and teamwork. For example, a group of students struggles to cooperate during the science project in the class. So instead of separating them, teacher helps them to discuss the roles and set the norms and reflect afterward. And the outcome, final outcome will be students learn communication, compromise, and persistent skills for the both school and life. One more final quote is there. The measure of success is not whether you have tough problem to deal with, but whether it is the same problem you had last year. Given by John Foster Dulles. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being part of this learning journey.